recover the breath. Jesus, this is gonna be a nightmare. Cheers, beer runners, how's it going? We are officially in the final countdown leading up to this weekend's beer mile. We are just 2 days away from the event, so I wanted to drop by with some last minute updates regarding training, aka beer chugging. There will definitely be some of that coming up later in the video. Also discuss some of the final plans for the day of the event, as well as my kind of race strategy going into Saturday. And then the last thing I'll touch on at the end of the video is how you can tune in. I mentioned this is gonna be a live event. You will be able to enjoy the beer mile live and enjoy all of the wonders and all of the horrors alongside with me, so I'll go over those details as well. If you've watched the updates that I've done in the past, then you know I really haven't changed that much about the running portion of training. Obviously, it's just a mile, so I'm not training to run it this hard. The challenging part for me is going to be the beer chugging. I'm not great at chugging 1 beer, as you've seen in the past. Chugging 4 back-to-back is gonna be even more difficult, so that's really what I've been focusing on practicing. I had narrowed down my selection of beers that I was leaning towards to 3 final options. We had the Heineken, the Budweiser, and the Bud Light Platinum. Those were the top 3 I was choosing from. I was leaning towards Heineken initially from my light beer taste test. If you watch that video, Budweiser is what I've used for the last and the first beer mile that I did. And then I've heard Bud Light Platinum is a favorite as well. Heineken got an immediate no as soon as I did the chug taste test. That went down horribly, especially when it was warm. It was disgusting. So that's out of the running. I'm down to the Bud Light Platinum and the Budweiser. I've tried some of the Bud Light Platinums. They seem to be pretty good, although it's a little bit higher of an alcohol concentration, which does not bode well for my chugging ability. Regardless of that, it's down to the Budweiser, the Bud Light Platinum. So that's what I'm gonna be putting head to head in today's video. Testing it out the only way that makes sense for this type of competition, and that is by trying to create as close to the day of conditions as I can while at home. And the only way I could think of to do that would be to hop on the Peloton, get my heart rate up there, and chug some beers. So enjoy this seamless transition and join me over on the Peloton. All right, so the test itself is simple. Step 1, just ate a full dinner of pasta and garlic bread, so belly is very full. Again, trying to simulate what it's gonna feel like on race day. Step 2, hop on the Peloton, get my heart rate up a little bit, just warming up right now. Once I'm warmed up, I'll do a quick sprint, beer chug, cool down, more explanation, another quick sprint, another beer chug. The goal here is to put the final 2 beers to a head-to-head taste test. We've got Bud Light Platinum, which I'm kind of leaning towards right now, but it's a little bit more bitter. It's got a little bit more of a bite to it. I'm putting that to the test against Budweiser. The unfortunate thing with the Budweiser that I purchased was I forgot to get it ahead of time, so I just bought it at a gas station on my way home last minute, and the only can they had available was a giant tall boy. There's no way that I'm gonna finish this, so I'm just gonna chug probably for like 15 to 20 seconds, see how much I can get down. The other issue is, even though this has been sitting out for about 2 hours, it is still pretty cold, so I imagine that it's gonna make it even more difficult to get down. We are sufficiently warmed up. We're gonna get into the first sprint for about a minute or so, get the heart rate elevated, and we'll jump into the Bud Light Platinum. All right. First beer, catch my breath. This is gonna be a nightmare on Saturday, I can already tell. Cheers. That actually wasn't too bad. Taste-wise, that's pretty good. It is just so hard to catch your breath. If memory serves, so now we're gonna get into the strategy of a race day. If memory serves, the first beer, no problem, you're starting with that beer. Second beer, you're out of breath, so it's tough, but it's doable. The third and fourth beer are where it really gets immensely challenging, where your body just doesn't want anything else going into it. Me specifically, that's where Vomit Town started happening. So I think my goal for the race is gonna be to try to bank time, knowing that I'm gonna slow down significantly, especially in the chugging department, for that third and fourth lap. Goal 1, hit the first beer chug hard. That's what I've been training for, try to get that first beer down as quick as possible, out of the gate, quick first lap. The running is tough because I have to balance wanting to get a quick pace, again, to bank time, but also wanting to keep my heart rate low enough so I don't have to recover as long to be able to then transition right into that beer chug. The other tough decision that I think is gonna be a game time decision is there's going to be a point in time where I have to decide what eats up the least amount of time. Is it slowing down the chug to try to prevent vomiting to save myself from having to run that penalty lap? Or is it faster to just accept the fact that I'm gonna throw up, get it over with, and then just resolve myself to having to run that penalty lap, and that's just gonna be part of the time itself. What I find hilarious is I think during my first video when I was trying to do the math, I was like, oh, my goal is gonna be to do this in under 10 minutes. I think that's gonna be incredibly difficult. That's still gonna be my lofty, lofty goal. I think my more reasonable goal is just to beat my current PR. It was 14 minutes and change. That included a penalty lap, so if I can come in under 14 minutes, I'll be happy. I will have done the work I needed to do. This is gonna be brutal, I can already tell, but I'm gonna go into another quick sprint, get the heart rate up, recover quickly, try to chug as much of this Budweiser as I can, getting through that Bud Light Platinum. I think it's gonna be harder with the Budweiser since there's no end in sight. I mean, this thing is a behemoth. It's gonna be ice cold. It is gonna be tough to chug. I'm gonna try to get half of it done, but again, just not knowing when it's gonna be over and trying to just force that down, I know is going to be brutal, so we'll see how it goes. All right, recover the breath. Jesus, this is gonna be a nightmare. Another important question, can or bottle? That's tough. And this is a terrible test because it's a never-ending can. Cheers. Oh, I think it got down to about here. Oh, not bad. Flavor-wise, it's cold. I think I like the Bud Light Platinum better though. I am very shocked, and as much as I wanted to go with cans, the Platinums only come in a bottle. So I think we just gotta go with the bottle, accept my fate. It's easier to get the last remaining drops out of the bottle. Hopefully I'll be able to deal with the flavor day of. Successful test, nailing it in, Bud Light Platinum, day of, beer of choice. Whew. And finally, what I'm sure everyone has been waiting for, how you can tune in live to enjoy all of the wonders of the beer mile. I'm sure it's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm sure there's gonna be some really dark moments as well, but ultimately we're there to have a good time. So I will be broadcasting the event live on Instagram. I chose Instagram just because it seemed like the easiest platform on mobile. We are shooting for this Saturday, December 5th at 2 p.m. I say we're shooting for that time because there's a lot of variables when you're planning to run a beer mile on a public track. The biggest variable is other people on the track. I don't want to seem like a nuisance, someone who's just out there chugging beers on the track while they're in the middle of a serious workout. So we are going to aim to try to find a time when we have the track to ourselves so we don't have to worry about interfering with anyone else's workout. So that is variable number one. Variable number two is the weather. Right now, there's about a 80 to 90% chance of rain all day Saturday. I actually think that might work out in our favor because hopefully it will deter others from going to the track. And as long as we can find a brief window of time when we can sneak out there, then I'm not worried about a little bit of rain. But that's gonna be the goal date. Again, Saturday, December 5th, starting at 2 p.m. If we can't start on Saturday, then we'll push it back to Sunday and we'll keep all of those updates. You'll be able to see that on the Instagram account. Just follow my stories throughout the weekend. I'll be posting plenty of updates just to let you all know what's going on. And if we have to delay because someone's on the track, I'll be posting those updates as well. We'll probably start the video a little bit before the race, do a little Q&A, answer any questions that any of you have. Then obviously you'll get to enjoy all of the gory details of the race itself. The more I prepare for this race, the more confident I become that I will likely not be able to keep all 4 beers down, but who knows, miracles have happened, so we'll see what happens on the day of. The only way to catch all of the details is going to be on that live event. I am gonna put together a post-race video just like I have done for all of the races in the past, but since these videos live forever on YouTube, I will likely be posting a much cleaner version of that video since it will live here forever for anyone to see. So again, if you wanna see all the brutal details of the race itself, make sure to tune in for the live event. Otherwise, I will be posting a cleaner version of the race recap later next week. In the meantime, I also have something fun planned coming out on Tuesday that you'll wanna stay tuned for another ridiculous running food related challenge and possibly a collaboration with another YouTuber coming up down the pipeline. So get excited for that. I'll be releasing that video on Tuesday. It is sure to be a lot of fun. I am terrified for the event, but also very excited. So I think that's exactly where I should be going into Saturday's beer mile. I think that's the only way anyone can ever expect to go into a beer mile. So I'm very excited. I hope you'll be able to tune in. Like I said, make sure you follow me on Instagram at iRunOnBeer. I'll be posting all of the updates on the story so you know when to tune in. And throughout the video, you'll be able to ask any questions or anything like that, interact with me before the race, during the race, and then after the event as well. That's when I'm most looking forward to interacting with everyone and just going over the race itself, kind of a post-race interview, discussing everything that went right, everything that went wrong, and everything in between. This is all in celebration of hitting 500 subscribers, so I can't be any more thankful than I already am for all of you tuning in. I hope you're as excited as I am for this event, and I look forward to seeing you there on Saturday. So thanks for joining me, and I will see you around. Cheers.